We're coming back to Barcelona in early November, and we're going to be going to La Sagrada Familia then, so there was no need to do that today. Today, we opted to focus on one small area of Barcelona. We've learned from doing this before that when you get to a big port, a big city like Barcelona, where there are 5 million things you could do. You could go to Barcelona and stay 2 weeks and still not see everything. It's a bit like Rome. When you're in a situation like that, there's no point you can get on a hop-on, hop-off bus, ride all around the city and see everything there is to see from the bus and not do anything, really. And at the end of the day, you can't remember what you saw. We pretty much feel like, unless you're using the ho-ho bus as purely transportation to get to a site that you want to see, it's better to simply pick a thing and go do it, and do it thoroughly. See it well, experience it well, and let it go at that. And then reserve other parts of the city for another visit if that ever happens. So today we decided to do La Rambla. La Rambla is the main pedestrian, almost entirely pedestrian, thoroughfare that runs from the Christopher Columbus Monument, which is down near the port, and runs, I don't know, maybe a mile into the heart of Rome. And the heart of Barcelona. And we got to the far end, which is a big square, and there we began doing Rick Steves' Heart of Barcelona walking tour, and it was phenomenal, just really marvelous. He took us through the old part of Barcelona. Barcelona used to just go that far, and that was no farther than that. And the walking tour took us through the old part of town, through the area where the city walls came to back in the day, and included not only the Jewish section, there's always a Jewish ghetto in all these towns, but also some of the remains from when the Romans occupied the area. And the damn Romans, they were everywhere. Everywhere in the Mediterranean you go, there's Roman crap left behind. But it would almost make you yawn. If you did the Mediterranean and then went to Rome, you'd kind of go yawn, yawn. Roman ruins, who gives a shit? There's Roman ruins everywhere. But the Jewish section was just little tiny alleys instead of streets. Those people, you couldn't even see daylight. It was, they wouldn't have seen the sun more than just a few minutes each day. It would have been very like the kind of dusky days we lived with in Alaska, and I know how depressing that can get, and they were living with that year-round, not just in the wintertime. So anyway, we went through that whole area and walked what seemed like forever, and ended up back around at La Rambla, but not before passing through a square where the city government has its headquarters. It's a square, and on one side of the square is a building that houses the actual city of Barcelona government. The other side of the square is a building that houses the Catalona, Oh, anyway, the regional government. And I was unaware of this. Maybe I'm just ignorant, but I was unaware that Barcelona and in the area that it is part of, Catalonia, there's this big movement to secede from Spain altogether, a little like the secession movement in Alaska or the secession movement in Texas. And it's been ongoing for quite a number of years. And we kept noticing big yellow ribbons on apartment balcony railings, and then these striped flags that weren't the Spanish flag. And it turns out that those are secessionist flags, and the yellow ribbons are secessionist ribbons, and it's all making a political statement. And when we got to another square, the square where the Cathedral Barcelona is, we just happened to be in that square at the right time, which is right at noon on a Sunday. And every Sunday at noon, the secessionists meet there, and they have a band there, and they dance in the streets and in the square, and do this culturally significant dance that they haven't been able to do for many, many years. This was all completely outlawed under Franco. Franco died in 1975, and so since then they've been able to do their culture. Kids in Barcelona are taught the first language in most of the homes is Catalan, which is not Spanish. So for most Barcelonans who've born and raised in the city, they grow up speaking Catalan in their homes, and then they speak Spanish as a second language. And of course, Spanish is the language of the nation.
Flowers right there.
So, all in all, the day was cloudy, rain threatened. Holland America very kindly provided us with an umbrella, which is kind of cool. And so we had an umbrella, and we used it a couple times. But then the clouds, they came and went, and very little rain. And it all in all turned out to be a nice day. We got back on board the ship, and the weather went all to hell. And during dinner tonight, it was really rocky, and the sea is pretty rough. And hopefully we will get out of this mess during the night tonight, but maybe not. And the captain said that rain threatened tomorrow. Tomorrow is Marseille. So we'll see. We have a tour scheduled, and it'll be rain or shine. So we may be putting that umbrella to use again. But all in all, a really good day in Barcelona.